The straight is supposed to be done at range so that I can get my arm. We're gonna do a video on the rear straight or just the cross. This one is by request. Danka5719 asked, can you do a tutorial about cross or rear straight punch? That will be fantastic. So we're gonna do a fantastic video for you. With any technique, as a rule, there's multiple ways to throw it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take two simple variations on the cross. One is your classic straight. The other one I call a flared cross, and Rocky Marciano used to call it the Susie Q punch, I believe. No clue why, but it gives you something to look up. So we'll start with the straight. So obviously the straight is supposed to be done at range so that I can get my arm to a nice extension prior to making contact, right? So if I'm too close, this is not the option for you. Either that or you're gonna do it poorly. You're gonna lift your elbow up and people are gonna see it coming. And from a distance away, it's really easy to see it coming. So I'm gonna give you a couple notes. So first of all, when you're in stance, your elbows are nice and tight. And if you just pretend you're in a really skinny hallway and you go like this and you're gonna bump your elbows on the wall, use that as a reference for, I need to make sure the punch goes straight out. I can't go like this first. One of the great ways to practice it is to literally get beside a wall and just practice throwing your cross without your elbow bumping into the wall. Another good tool might be to have someone stand behind you. You're right behind me there with that camera. Can you see my right arm? Did you see my right arm the whole time? If you see it go like this first, then fire, probably a sign that you're doing the punch wrong, okay? So tight with your elbows that someone standing behind you wouldn't even really see your right arm, and then it shoots straight out. Now, by the time we make contact with many punches, the goal is to have our elbow behind the point, like behind the point of impact. So if I'm hitting, the direction of power is right into his solar plexus. I don't want my elbow above it. That's weird, right? I don't want it below it. That's goofy, yeah. So if he gets closer, that's what I'm up against. I can't get my elbow behind, that sucks. So be far enough away, it shoots straight out. Catch him, you bring it back. Hopefully you noticed how when I threw this punch, my chin was protected by my shoulder. There should be defensive half to every offensive move. Don't just sloppy throw stuff with your chin up in the air, obviously, but pay attention when you're practicing your straight. So hands nice and tight. I'm gonna make sure I turn my rear hip forward. My heel lifted, my knee turned in. I'm square to my opponent. It's about that point I start to press the hand out. I turn the thumb over, boom, and I make contact. Now, if I'm facing my opponent, I don't stop it square. There's a few reasons. I've lost a lot of reach that I'm gonna get out of finishing the rotation. Also, there's the space between my chin and my shoulder. So as I complete the punch, I rotate my shoulders through, I'm getting that bit of defense. What I'd have you watch for is that you're not doing the old look off to the side as you throw the cross, because now we've put space, and I don't need to be saying hi to Max over here. This space is a potential gap for your opponent to punch into. Your chin stays down, your back stays hollow, fire, and that would be a proper cross. How to land it, pretty basic stuff. Throw your jab and set it up. One thing I would say is if we're going to the body, don't be up here punching down here, okay? A little bit, leaves you a little bit open, and you can see how if I'm up here punching down here, how I don't have that shoulder protecting my chin. Nice little tip is just to get a little bit lower and fire it straight in. I'm a little under the radar, and again, I've got my shoulder protecting me.
All right, so the cross in the open stance matchup is famously a very powerful offensive tool. They talk a lot about how Orthodox versus Southpaw is just kind of like a shootout, who can get their cross off first. And this is why. So if I'm squared up with my partner here, right now we're both Orthodox. We're in a closed stance matchup. My jab naturally splits my partner's guard. My partner has to actively defend my jab in order to not get hit by it. My partner is passively defended from my cross. He didn't do a single thing, but he defended himself because my cross lands on his lead hand. If we switch our stance matchup here, now my jab is passively defended. You see this manifested a lot with hand fighting, where we play patty cake. But my cross is not passively defended. My partner is forced to actively defend the cross by stepping our front foot outside. This is like Southpaw 101. You'll see this everywhere all the time. We're not unique for saying this. The reason why this is considered a dominant angle, noting how my foot is on the outside, is because it lines up my cross even better. Now, actually, interestingly, if we're in a closed stance matchup, doing the opposite action lines up my cross. Funny how that works. But as I step out here, I can line up my cross even better, and I can really rotate into the shot. Here's a fun one. Generally speaking, especially if I'm hand fighting, my partner only has one hand to defend this, to defend my cross. If I throw it right down the middle, my partner is incentivized to parry, because otherwise I'll just hit them. So what I often do is I'll be throwing the cross, and then I'll change its trajectory and let it loop. It's still a cross. I'm not throwing a hook, although I will often just hum haymakers from time to time to encourage people to widen their guard. But it's a straight punch that comes from out here into my partner. So rather than going straight down the middle, we can come a little bit to the outside. See how it just loops slightly, almost like a chopping cross.
So we're also gonna show you how to do what we call a flared cross, or maybe a short cross, or like I said, the Susie Q punch. So I'm so close to the person that there's no way I'm gonna be able to throw a straight cross and have my elbow behind the direction of power. I'm definitely not gonna hit hard. So we're gonna break a few rules here. We're going to get our head offline, which is gonna necessarily create a bit of space between our shoulder and our chin. Like I just said with the straight cross, you should make sure you don't do. But we're okay for it because we are getting offline. So I'm going to push off my back leg. I'm gonna turn just like I do for the straight cross. And as I get my head offline, my elbow comes up to level. And I can be so close that literally I am past Max's head here. And just a little short one, it's hard enough, okay? Maybe Max is D'ing up and I do like a sliding foot lift. We showed that one of the videos. Dang, I'm too close to do a straight cross. You just fire that flared cross. It's not an overhand, because an overhand would come up and over. I call it a short cross. I think as long as my hand goes directly to target, I'm gonna call it a cross. You can name it something else, but the principle of why it works is you get your head offline, you get your elbow to level, and as you rotate, you're firing that punch in. A very good way to land it is if you're in really tight, you just pop a quick hook and then throw it. And you can practice that on pads. You're so close, already just kind of in the pocket with them. Boom, boom. Quick hook, and you'll see me get my head offline, bringing my left back to my face and firing that short cross. Another fantastic way to use this is on somebody who's kind of sloppily stepping in and throwing, like really overthrowing their jab. Now, that's ugly. So when he steps in and I notice that he's overextending on his jab, I know he's off balance and I know that he's not gonna really be able to throw a good cross. Now I am gonna move to the inside of the cross, which means I am in line with the other hand, but I've taken stock of this person's movement. They're reaching with the jab. They're not really throwing the right hand after. All right, I feel safe to do this. So when he does it, I'm gonna step offline and bang, and because he's stepping in so big, I wouldn't have the straight available to me. So if he steps in and tries, just kind of bumps me right in the forehead with it, okay, perfect. Again, bang, you just sneak it in there. Maybe we go on slight angle here, steps in. There's two ways I can look at this. Step offline and catch him on the inside, or catch him over his arm. I think we did something like that in a video a while ago, how to land the overhand, but instead of going up and over, we can just boom, straight into target. When someone's moving into you and you catch them, they're providing half the power for the punch. So you just really gotta land it nice and clean and the power will be there for you.
Another use that I have for the cross, and actually the inside angle in the open stance matchup, is we're always told to get our foot to the outside, but because everybody's spamming that and they know that they want to take that outside angle, I can actually kind of exploit that. I often hand fight with this, but you don't need to. If my partner's like stepping to the outside and I'm creeping to the inside, as long as I'm maintaining a fair distance, if I see my partner throw their cross at me, I can just lean away. And from here, I can take my own cross it over top of his, bang, and land that southpaw cross counter. See Conor McGregor's whole career. See Sean O'Malley knocking out Aljo. Like, this is a very, very excellent technique. So I'm circling to my inside, I'm letting my partner have outside foot. He's gonna throw the cross as I slip to the outside, and then I'm gonna cross over top of it like so. If you're feeling a little bit frisky, what you can do, as he throws straight at me, I can lean to the inside and throw that same flared cross to my partner's head.